Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Nick, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to get what you want. It's a really vague title, I know, and it's a really generalized title, but you're gonna like this video because this really talks about how I was able to start off with basically nothing to building million-dollar companies, multiple million-dollar companies from scratch. And this is exactly how I did it. This is exactly how you can apply this to anything you want and get what you want. I've seen a lot of people who lack these things, and they lack focus, they lack having goals, they don't have good habits, and they don't eliminate things which they don't need and stuff like that. So we're going to go over everything in detail, which is really going to show you the right path and how to find what you want, because do what you want and get what you want. Because right now, if you're listening to a lot of people outside, on YouTube, or people who are famous, you might get very confused and conflicted ideas about yourself. Just because somebody's saying it out there does not necessarily mean it's true. That's really why I want to make this video. So let's get started right away. I'm gonna go ahead and hide my video and so you can focus on the screen and follow along. So right here we have 4 major pillars of getting what you want. The first thing, of course, of getting what you want we come to is our goal. So people ignore this, but most people actually don't know what they want. This is actually true with most people. They want to achieve things, but everything starts with your goal. How will you get what you want? You need to know what you want first, So if someone's out there making a drop shipping video, and just because they're making money from drop shipping does not mean that it's gonna be suitable for you. That's the first thing. You need to understand exactly what is your goal, right? Sit down and imagine, what would you want to happen right now? What do you want? What kind of situation would you like? How do you really want to spend your life? How do you really want to spend your life? Because it's really not about listening to people who are like 10 million subscribers. I'm not calling anybody out, but we tend to listen to people who are extremely famous, and we think that they are right or in what they say, and the answer is they're not. Everybody has their own opinions about things, and you truly need to find what's true to you. Nobody in the world will be able to tell you who you really are, because the only answer is going to come from yourself. You have to really sit down and think, okay, what do I really want? What do I really want? And you want to point that out. Maybe it's a goal from childhood. Maybe it's something you want to do because you want to make an impact on people. Maybe you want to make money to save the forest, or whatever you have in mind. I want you to just write a goal down. Just write it down. Maybe you might have more than 1 goal. You might have 1 to 2 goals. You might have 5 goals. Whatever you have, just write down one thing. Just start somewhere. Okay, what's your main goal? Because the way you get what you want, you first need to be very clearly define what you want. You can't have 5 things at once. You can't have the world. You can't be a doctor and a business person at the same time. You can't be a business person and a tennis star at the same time. You have to pick one thing. Okay, one thing I really struggled with back in the day, for example, was I wanted to be a business person and a video game professional for a while, but I couldn't do that because it's impossible to do something at a high level unless you're completely focused on it. So you have to really decide one thing that you want to do. Okay, once you have that goal, and you can use various ways to find this goal. You can see who you are. This is really finding out who you are, what you enjoy doing. What was the last thing which made you excited? What made you really feel really good, or what makes you excited to do? What would you be able to do for 10 years without anybody telling you to stop or getting paid? What do you like to do? And that's really what's going to find what you love to do. I'm going to go more deeper in this if you guys want to, how to find what you love. But the first thing is you have to find your goal. You have to find your goal. That's the first thing. Now, let's say you have your goal. The second thing is focus. So now you know what you want, and now we're going to start focusing on how to get what you want. If you don't know what you want still, I am going to be making more videos in the future about how to find what you love. But right now, just try to find it based on what you like, what you dislike, and what makes you excited. Right. The next thing is focus. So the reason why is focus so important? Why do billionaires like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett always talk about, why focus is important and stuff like that? Well, the first thing is, with focus, you really need it to succeed in anything at all. If you're trying to focus, but for example, if you're splitting up your focus, this is something I learned from Sam Ovens. For example, let's say you have 100 points of focus every day. You have 100 points in energy, okay? That's finite. And you can put these in many things. You can put these in, let's just say you spend 20 points in spending time with your family, okay? You spend 10 points in, let's just say, doing business. You spend 30 points in playing video games, and you spend the last, how much is that? 40 points in watching Netflix. What's really going to happen is you don't have more than 100 points. Every single person in this world have the same amount of energy, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. But at the end of the day, they're all going to have a point where they're spending energy. And you can find this very easily if you look at your day and you say, okay, this is what I'm doing. Normally you can look at what you're doing and figure out where are these points, what are these points, and how much focus is going in them. I can tell you what those points are. One of them is going to be your daily activities, some habits that you have for a while. Next is going to be your pleasures, recreation, going out at the bar, maybe doing your job, 9 to 5 job. That takes like 50, 60 points sometimes. So coming back to focus, basically what this means is you have to try and spend as many points of focus that you have in your day towards the activities that get you closer to what you want, if that makes sense. Because what's going to happen is sometimes you're going to put these points into things which absolutely make no sense. They have nothing to do with where you want to go. And the biggest problems which come here, let me just talk about the two big problems which come in the goal and focus part, okay? The first problem that people have here is, one, they don't have a goal. That's the first, easiest, the biggest problem people have is they don't have a goal. And that's why the first thing you need to focus on is what is your goal, right? The number two problem is their focus does not line up with their goal. If somebody wants to become a pro basketball player, but they don't practice basketball, they're eating Chipotle and they're just chilling with their buddies and hanging out with people, that's not really going to get you closer to their goal. So for this, how do you fix this? How do you fix these two problems? How do you fix the problem that your focus is not matching up to your goal? I want you to go ahead and set an alarm for every 2 hours in your day tomorrow and day after. Do this for like 2 or 3 days and write down exactly what you were doing and find out your points of focus. I want you to find out every single point of focus you have and then tell me exactly what goal does it match up to. Okay? And by the way, this does not mean that you stop spending time with your family or you stop playing video games. As long as you're spending 80% of your points into something you want to do, you're most likely going to achieve it. You are actually going to achieve it. But if you're spending most of your time, the majority of your time, that is to say more than 50% of your daily time in things which are not getting closer to your goal, you are simply not going to achieve it. You're not going to ever get there because you are going to get towards the things which you're doing. If you want to be a billionaire, but subconsciously you're playing 10 hours of video games a day, guess what? You're going to be really fucking good at that video game and you're going to be broke. So that's kind of how it goes. I know people who've played in the past 18 hours of video games a day. I used to play with those people in the past, right? 18 hours. They're really good at video games now, but what did that get them? Nothing, right? Unless you're becoming an esports gamer, unless the game you're playing is going to get you into esports and a really good prize money, or just, that's what you want to do in life. If that's your goal, continue to play video games, great. But if that's not your goal, this is not what you want to be putting your time on. This is not what you want to be doing. And by the way, you can spend some time with your family. You can go out on a vacation for a week. That's completely fine. But the majority of your time has to go, like I said, 80% has to go towards your goal. So focus has to be directly aligned with your goal. Now, right here, just so you guys can see. Now, the next thing is your habits. Now, this is something which is so overlooked, so overlooked. And people have their goals figured out. Let's just say you have your goals figured out, right? And you're focusing on those goals, but your habits are contradicting both your focus and your goals. What does that mean? Well, this means is you have a goal of building a dropshipping business to 100K a year, okay? You want to build a dropshipping business to, let's just say, 10K a month. You want to get to 10K a month, right? And you're focusing, you're watching videos, you're taking courses, even though you don't need courses. You're taking courses, you're learning, you're researching on Google, you're doing everything, you're testing products, and yet you don't seem to get your results because your habits are fucked. You go to bed at fucking 3 a.m. in the morning, you go party and drink every now and then, and your fucking mind is fucking foggy all the time because of that. You talk about people all the time, about how other people are more successful than you. Like, all these habits are fucking you over. You cannot have shitty, losing habits. Do you think you'll ever be able to achieve any sorts of real, long-lasting success with the habits of a broke mentality person? No, you're not going to be able to do that. So you have to find out the habits you're doing overwhelming, and this is the hardest part, because the habits can be sometimes be so overpowering that you won't be able to stop it. You can't stop it, but you have to observe your habits, observe your nature of judging, observe your broke habits that you do, you know. The fact that you talk to broke people, maybe you hang out with losers, who knows what you do, but your habits are what's going to form your success. You know, your habits combined with your focus and your goals. Because when you start focusing on your goal, what starts happening automatically is you start getting some better habits. For example, taking 8 hours of sleep, super, super, super important to do. You know, we're going to talk about that in the elimination part, you know. Then we have, you know, eating good food. You must eat good food if you really want. And these things are once again looked upon so much. Everybody just talks about this one magic stick right here. You take this stick from them and boom, you're a fucking millionaire. False. Never works. Never. There is no fucking magic stick in the world. You must take enough sleep. You must eat properly. You must have your focus aligned. You must have your goals and habits aligned. That's how you do it, right? You need to have winning habits if you want to be a high performance individual. So you need to stop focusing on your dog shit habits, which are making you lose, and you know damn well what those habits are. If you don't know what those habits are, look at every single person you've spent your time with. Right now, I want you guys to do this exercise right after watching this video, right? Make a list of the amount of the people you interacted with from last Saturday to now, okay? And then make a list of your goals, short term and long term. You will be literally shocked of the results. You will see of how much time you waste on people which have nothing to do with where you want to go in life. Literally nothing, absolutely fucking dog shit to do nothing, like literally. So get better habits, eat properly, take 8 hours of sleep a day. And lastly, we have elimination. And this really is a complementary to habits. So elimination is just elimination of the things which are stopping you from getting to your goal. And what this really means is that elimination of dumb shit that you do, all right? What we just talked about. Habits and elimination go hand in hand, all right? They both go hand in hand. And let me just explain what this really means. So, for example, on the habits part, what you could do here is you could have a habit of sleeping 8 hours a day, or you could have a habit of sleeping 8 hours sleep. All right, that's good. That's a good habit right there. And at the same time, you can eliminate a bad habit of drinking. You can stop drinking and you can start sleeping more. Okay, the next habit you can have is exercising. Start exercising every few days. You know the health benefits of it. You know it's going to really help you out. All the stuff, great. You know it's going to make you fit. It's going to make you more energetic. Cool. What you can eliminate at this part is being lazy. You're going to stop being lazy. The moment you start exercising, you're going to stop becoming lazy, right? The next thing, and really important, eating good food. Eat good food. You know what I mean here. And elimination is going to be, obviously, eating bad food. Really, really simple. Habits are added and bad habits are eliminated. So basically what we're talking about here, elimination of bad habits and addition of good habits is what we're talking about here. Eat good food instead of eating pizzas all the time, instead of eating burgers all the time, instead of fucking up your intestines with dog shit food. Why don't you actually eat some good food for once? Why don't you eat some green vegetables for once? Why don't you actually go on a diet plan, have a fast or something? Like actually focus on your diet instead of eating dumb shit all the time, right? That really helps a lot. Trust me, it really helps a lot more than you might think. So, and lastly, your emotional habits, you know? Why don't you focus on your own business instead of looking at people who are buying Lamborghinis? That's a big habit. You know, this kind of shit nobody points out, but people do it all the time. They want to look at somebody explain to me, how does somebody having 7 private jets and 3 Lamborghinis have anything to do with you and your life? Anything at all? How does it have to do a rat's ass with your life? You have to eliminate these bad habits, these poisonous habits. Nobody cares. When I was at zero and I had nothing, I had people who were making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I did not give 2 shits. Good for them. What does it have to do with you? You have to really start focusing on these things, because once you understand these 4 things right here and these 4 pillars of success, you can literally achieve what you want, because now you know your goal. You have your focus aligned with your goal, so you know where you want to go and your focus is matching what you do. Your habits, you're sleeping properly, you're exercising, you're not lazy, you're actually focusing on yourself. You have really good winning habits, and now you have eliminated all the bad habits and all the bad things you do, which is drinking, being lazy, eating bad food and all that stuff. Like when you eliminate all these bad things, right, and you start focusing on your good habits, this is when success starts happening. This is how you get what you want. Because what's going to happen if you have a goal which is very clear and concrete, you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, you know exactly what you want, and you're focusing on that, 80% of your time is going into this goal. Your habits are complementing your focus and your goal. They're not stopping you. And you have eliminated the things that the 98% of people fail to eliminate. What's going to happen at this point? You're going to win. Like, is it that hard to understand? Like, you're literally going to win. What's going to happen now? You're going to win because now you've done every single thing you need to do to achieve success. This is how I won. This is how everybody wins. Any massively successful person, they don't have stupid, dumbass habits. They don't give two shits about what you have. They're focused on their shit. They have goals in their minds. Pick any person you want who you think is successful. All of them have these four things. They're complementary to each other. So focus on your goals, okay? Get a goal in the first place. Get habits which are going to complement what you're going to do, and eliminate any dog shit habits which are stopping you from what you're doing, and you will achieve success, all right? This is literally all I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. I'm going to be focusing way more on videos like these, just talking about, how to achieve these things and how to more practical ways. And because I've seen a lot of people getting stopped by dumbass habits and things which are not being talked about much, and because of that, a lot of you are not being able to achieve your results which you want to achieve. So yeah, I'm really gonna make more videos about that, how to transition into bigger things. But for now, this is what I have for you guys: goals, focus, habits, and elimination. Focus on these things and you'll get what you want. All right, it's been Nick, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace.